This is Chris Corbett. Hope everybody's having a great day, and thanks for joining me for my little introduction to Quizlet and Quizizz. I have shared this Google Doc with everybody, and so what I'm going to do is just go through some of the strengths of both of these apps, and then actually make a Quizlet and a Quizizz and sort of guide you around and show you how you can use these with your students. Okay, to begin, Quizlet is something like a flashcard, spaced repetition type learning platform. And for me as a language teacher, I find it very helpful and very efficient for teaching students, helping them to memorize vocabulary. But I can also imagine that it might be just as useful for memorizing formulas, terminology, any sort of information that you want your students to really commit to memory. It's also very good for visual learners because you can include photos and diagrams. And because you can set up classes using students' Gmails, you can put classes together. You can ask students to go and do some of the learning functions on Quizlet, and you will see their progress in real time. So this is really good for e-learning. Keeps the students honest. There are web and app versions available, so students can use them on laptop, iPad, or even their phones. Setup is easy for teachers, and that's what I'm going to show you here in a second. And also, because you can set up classes, you can keep things private so you don't have people barging in. And there are multiple study modes, especially one called Quizlet Live, which is an information gap team studies sort of activity. It's not really practical to do that with e-learning, but if and when we get back into the classrooms, try it with your students, especially my French freshman classes. Absolutely love it. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how to create a Quizlet set. As you can see, I've got my own account up here. And this is an assignment for my IB Chinese students, and I'm teaching them some adverbs, Chinese adverbs. What I've done is I set up a spreadsheet with my vocabulary here, and I do a copy-paste. Put it into Quizlet here, I import it. Now in my case I have to choose the language. Okay, this is simplified Chinese, and this is Pinyin. New Pinyin is the romanization system we use for Chinese. I create it, and then you get options to share the link. You can copy the link, but there's also something here you can customize it. You can control who is able to see this set. So I'm going to assign it to my IB Chinese students. Got them right here. I save it, and now it's available to them once I hit the create button. Okay, so now that that's set, you can see that I can learn it in a flashcard mode. Okay, there's also something called learn mode here where it gives you lots of custom options. If I click down here, I can put either side of the card up first. I like to use flashcards, but you can do written questions, multiple choice. And another nice advantage for teaching languages, especially with Chinese, is you can use audio.
副词
is
而已
RE. Yeah, there you go. So I like that with my students because pinyin notation isn't always intuitive. And so when you turn on the audio, let's see if we're doing the learn section here. Okay.
只
Okay, third tone. I like having that audio because students can
只
imitate and copy along. Okay, so that's one mode for studying. You can also take a look at class progress. Now, because I haven't assigned this yet, there's nothing really to look at. But let's take a look here. For example, this is a French set that I gave my freshmen earlier in the year. And I've got a JPEG that I put in here. You can search around. There's a lot of free content available in Quizlet as well. So if you just search around, you might be able to see it. So let's take a look at the progress here. I'm going to go to one of my French classes that's already set up. So I'm going to go to My Study Sets. Take a look here. And let's go to French 1C. Check something that they did recently. Let's see. Okay, so for example, we're working on Unit 5 in our textbook, and I can look at the class progress. And there you go. So for example, on this day, I asked the students to do the learn and the match learning functions here. There's writing, there's flashcard, there's spelling, there's test mode, there's even a game mode called Gravity that you can do. And so you can see everybody is on task. This student left the class, he moved up another level. But you can keep your students honest. You can see this in real time. You just refresh your screen and you can watch them work their way through the set. So that's a really nice option that you have with Quizlet. Okay. With Quizizz, setup is also easy. And the main thing with Quizizz is there are now multiple question modes. When I first started using Quizizz about 3 years ago, there was only multiple choice. Okay, and that has obvious downsides to it. There's a download template that you can get from Quizizz. Save that on your desktop, and then when you want to create a Quizizz, you just import. Okay, well, I have set up my Quizizz here. Basically, you're cutting and pasting. You can have up to 5 options for multiple choice. You do have to select the correct answer, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a very small vocab set. Save it there. Close it out. Here we go. I'm going to upload that. Okay, everything looks good. Save it. Okay, and then I'm going to say I'm done. You can add an image, but until I think of an appropriate image for Chinese adverbs, I'll just leave that alone. Okay, choose the language. Here it's Chinese. And let's see, 11, 12. There you go. And I'm going to leave this public, but you can make it private. Now, one of the nice things you can do with Quizizz is you can create classes as well. You can also assign this as homework. Okay, so if I say maybe June 12th, I think that's next Friday. Yeah, next Friday. So I can assign that, and then again, I can see student responses here. Okay, so I can end the game, I can check their progress, and I can see how they've done. Do you want to end this game? Yes, because we're just experimenting. Okay, so if I go to my desktop, one thing I can show you is, the nice thing about Quizizz is you can download the results. Okay, so the students get an interactive experience that's very game-like. There's also literally bells and whistles going on. But at the end of the day, you want to track student learning in a measurable way, and you can see here that it's set up for you. You can look at point values, you can look at number of questions correct. Right over here you can see, okay, these terms are a bit of a problem for a few people, so you can give differentiated coaching to your students for people who are having problems. You can see who's not having problems, and it's just very very nice, and the students like it as well. So anytime you find an app that's effective for teaching and that the students like, you've really got something on your hands that's worth thinking about using in your own classes. So without doing a, I guess I could do one. Let's see. So, yeah, let's do a practice one here. So, let's say I'm done with this, okay, and take a look at one of my quizzes. See if I can find a French one for you guys to take a look at. One of the nice things is you can not only assign quizzes as homework now, but you can also post, okay, les couleurs. Okay, so you can also post a practice link. You can share that, put that in Schoology, or you can just play it yourself. So to give you an idea of what this looks like, let's do it as a play it as a quiz. So you can see there's music included and everything. Let's see, what do we have? Jaune. Okay, excellent. And you can see the students love this kind of stuff. You get bonus points and all sorts of other bells and whistles. And also students can see how they rank against their classmates, so you can turn that off if you like. So there, no problem. Okay, and they've got different memes and emojis, and you've got avatars and so forth. Let's see, this is rouge. So there you go. All right. So there you go. You can turn all of these things off. You can customize all of this, turn off the memes, what have you. Let me see if I can exit out now. Okay, well, I'm just going to shut that down. So at any rate, that gives you an idea of what the interface is like. But if you go to the Google Doc that I made, I've got sample Quizlets and Quizizzes. And so your assignment that I've given you is to create both a Quizlet and a Quizizz and experiment with these sets, studying them on all your different devices. Try and imagine how your students might learn material for your classes. And also, when you do create those Quizlet and Quizizzes, share them with me and with our colleagues. I would love to see your work. And if you have any questions about either of these apps, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And having said that, I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care and be well.